What is good, people? What is good, my people of YouTube? Yeah, I haven't talked to you guys in a cool minute, actually. I don't even know how many days, maybe like a couple of days. It just seems a long time. After like posting for almost every day, it like seems weird when you don't post like for a couple days, like 3 days sometimes. I do take breaks on Saturdays, so there's that. So I couldn't even if I wanted to, if I really wanted to, I would have posted yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I was like working, doing some other stuff, and then I usually try not to work at all on Saturdays. So like I just took a break the rest of the day after I was like doing that stuff in the morning. But yeah, and like I said, cause I'm working on some other stuff. Like I was saying in my previous couple of videos, I'm like working on some other stuff now, like software stuff, blockchain stuff. Yeah, like cool project there. So my posting might get a little bit more sporadic, but it's all good. I'll keep trying to hit you guys with that cool ass content here. Thank you for following the channel, and those of you new subscribers, definitely thank you for subscribing. Like we're on our way to 100. That's good stuff. And then once we get to 100, I'm telling you, it's gonna get easy to. It's gonna be relatively easy to get to 1,000 after we hit them triple digits. So yeah, definitely just keep following the channel if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, just seeing the numbers go up. Interested in the topics we're talking about. Definitely, subscribe if you haven't already. Like and comment, definitely, if you guys have anything to say about the content or if you just like the content. So yeah, I mean, in this one, I'm just gonna kind of like say keep learning stuff. All you young MGTOW guys out there. This is the position that I find myself in, so I like to talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, this is basically the position I find myself in, and this is what I'm doing. Just keep learning shit, basically. And it's kind of working out, not gonna lie. So yeah, just keep learning shit. So let's get started with the script. Keep learning shit, keep learning shit. That's literally the first line I wrote in the script. And I wrote this a couple days ago, or maybe like 3 days ago. So bear with me. I might be reading it and I might be like, wait, did I really write that? But yeah, let's just see what happens. Keep learning shit. That is the best advice I have for you young MGTOWers. We appear to have been born into a set of systems that are basically built to fail eventually. Yeah, from what I can understand, from what I've learned. Maybe I might gain more perspective or whatever as I get older. Talking to different people, it's clear that I have the perspective of a young person, apparently. Just what I've gleaned from conversations I've had in the past couple days. But from my perspective, it honestly seems like we've been born into a set of systems that are basically built to fail eventually, and they happen to be kind of failing at the time that we are now. So it is what it is. Okay, and when they're gonna fail, nobody seems to know for sure, but like I said, they do not seem to be able to go far past the point that we are now. So, and what is funny is that there's big money to be made from speculating on when it will fail on itself. That just shows me when more people, I don't know about more, but when a good amount of people are speculating on the failure rather than working to not make the thing fail, that means something. You can determine what it means for yourself, but you can't say that it means nothing. Yeah, so maybe you're part of that speculation. I'm not sure if you're watching this channel. Maybe you're part of it. At this point, I don't really know what videos are attracting the audience here. So at this point, you could be a speculator on the failure. You could not be. I don't really know. But regardless, just keep learning about what has been done, what's being done now, and create your own perspective and potential paths for the future. That's what I'm doing. And like I said, seems to be working, so I'll only tell you guys something. I only tell you guys to do something when it's worked for me in the past. I'm trying to hand out suggestions, especially for you young MGTOW dudes who are just like, wait, what's going on here? And learning what's going on and having questions and learning about the path forward. That's, who I'm giving the quote unquote advice to. Because I'm seeing what's kind of working for myself and I'm trying to share that with you guys. So maybe humans always suffer from the same issues. Maybe we're at a fourth turning in terms of the generations. Maybe things are actually the best currently than they've ever been, as people say to me. Some people say that to me. And maybe they're right. We don't know because we just weren't, like, we've only been born now. Even the oldest people are like no more than 120 years old or 130 years old or something, like even the oldest people. So we don't know about how, if things have been the best, if they're the best now, if they used to be the best at some other point. We'll just never know. Will they be the best in the future? We don't really know. So I'm not sure. And I'm starting to not really care as much anymore. I write that, and to be honest, it's kind of true. I don't know or care what the best ever it has been for humans, because we just simply don't know. All we know is that what we're living in now. And that's what matters most to us now, right? It's good to analyze previous periods just for the sake of helping us now, like day to day. So I just know where we seem to be now as I write in the script, and where we seem to be headed in the immediate future. And I'm trying to build my own things to make the best out of that future that we can, basically. To be 100% honest with you, word to you, amen. You may disagree, but I believe that the future is only going to consist of what these MGTOW dudes and those helping them have built. And I guess there's a reason for that I'll go into here. The old society just seems to be collapsing on itself. You can argue that maybe that's occurring with humans all the time, that there's always old things that like don't move forward, and then there's a set of things that do move forward. And I won't even say old things, like there's just things that don't move forward and things that do move forward. And as of this point, it just seems that there's a high portion of things that can't possibly move forward. Like, for example, like certain government programs, there's just no money for it and nobody's working to keep those programs alive. Like this current dating market also just doesn't seem like it can move forward. There's going to be over half of people are going to be single, which means that these and they're not even really trying to look for each other at this point. At this point, most of it just, like, a lot of people are just going on the internet and bashing the other sex, gender, whatever you want to call it. Or they're switching genders completely, or they're choosing to mate with each other, like being in terms of lesbians and gay people, like that's just increasing. It just overall does not seem like this dating and mating market can last for long, or else we're fucked. Like, birth rates are this low. This dating and mating market is just something that cannot be sustained unless you're going to have, imagine 70% of men and women, single men and women, just 70% of men and women that are single. Imagine that. I don't think it's gonna get that high. I think it's gonna change before it gets to that point. But right now we're over 50%. So just take that into account. We're over 50%. That's over half. That cannot be sustained, in my opinion. I just don't think that could be sustained. And I know why it's happening too. A lot of the smartest people, and maybe we're not, to be honest, I can't even say that. Word to you, man. the word smart is like changed a lot. I really don't know what can be considered smart or not, but it's just a lot of people. Okay, let's just say a lot of people that, if you go back into school, the people that were getting fairly good grades, whether you want to call that smart, I really don't know if I call that smart, but the people that were getting fairly good grades are single these days. And I'm just, at least that's what I'm seeing from my perspective in California at my own age. So you think about your cohort, think about what you're seeing there. But the numbers seem to be 50%, which I just keep going back to that number because that is kind of stunning to me. I really didn't. It was only this past year that I understood that number and even knew that that number could possibly be valid at all. Before literally the past year, I didn't even look at the dating market really at all, which makes me makes me believe that 50% number, because there's probably a lot of people like me who basically ignored the dating market completely, and I have friends who are still basically ignoring it, because remember that I'm a person that I left school early. So a lot of these people that are in school, you're not really thinking about what's happening outside of school. And you tend to not have families when you're in school, because you have a lot on your plate being in school, and then you also have no money if you're a student. So you're not having families, and you're not really thinking about the dating market that much because you're pushing that off until you get out of school. And I have many friends who are in that position, and I was in that position, and I left. So I can definitely believe that number, and it might get a little bit higher, but I do not think it's gonna hit, I don't think it's gonna hit much far over 60%, even if it gets there. Even 60% is crazy as fuck to me, but yeah. We can go over those numbers more in another video. So whether or not you see things that, going back to the script, whether or not you see things that way in terms of society collapsing on itself, maybe not that calamitous of a view, but there are definitely old systems that may not be sustained. So whether or not you think that that's the case or not, we can all see and notice that, one, birth rates are declining. The average age is over 35 in the United States. And I've gotten into that in previous videos, and I'll go over that in future videos, because that's actually something that I haven't grasped until recently. But now that I've toyed with that in my mind, it actually makes sense. And now that I'm out of school, because when you're in school, you're around people your same age. But now that I'm out of school, I can see that it is definitely noticeable that the average age of people is it's like getting higher. It's just, when I walk around, it's clear to see that. And just, if you think about it, how many millennials just didn't have kids and aren't planning to at all. And just how many people are single. I mean, it's not hard to grasp that birth rates are declining. It's not hard to sense that. And there are other ways of sensing that, but I'll just leave it there. Two, people seem to be fighting for the scraps of decaying systems. That's another way that you know that birth rates are declining. And it might take a few steps to get there, which I may go over with you just in other videos. But when people are like fighting for the scraps of old stuff instead of creating new stuff, that's number two. People seem to be fighting for the scraps of decaying systems. 3, there's little investment in completely new stuff. 4, many men and even women seem to be dropping out of traditional orders and customs and opting for different interests and different things. And whether that's MGTOW dudes on one side or people going transgender or turning gay or something on the other side. Whether, no matter what side you're on, people seem to be opting for different things, like different experiences and different interests, rather than the traditional social orders and customs. That makes sense. And traditional, like I said in another video, traditional isn't even necessarily the nuclear family anymore. Traditional, for the people born now, especially the younger people, it traditional to us is that single parent household, just because there's so many of it. Most, I don't know about most, but just a lot of people, it has to be over 40%, are from divorced households. So it's not even the tradition, it's not even the nuclear family necessarily. That's not even really seen as traditional, especially for these younger people. Like when we hear the word traditional in a lot of these spaces and MGTOW channels and things like that, a lot of these guys, like Coach Greg Adams, for example, is in his 40s. For the people who are younger, the people who are younger than 35 and younger than 25 especially, traditional is something different to them. It's not necessarily that nuclear family. We never really saw many nuclear families. I come from a nuclear family personally, but I cannot say that that's traditional. Unless maybe you're from, if you moved here, if you immigrated here, or if your parents immigrated here, then traditional might be a nuclear family for you guys. But even the younger people, man, like I know people who are also Nigerian, like they have the same shit where it's like broken households for them too. So the what is traditional, I feel like that changed. But either way, people are going MGTOW from that, or they're like going transgender and shit, and like gay and stuff like that. We're seeing a lot of just different ways of going about life instead of that, like just people trying to figure out what their path is here. So just that tells me that there's a burgeoning class, no pun intended, bourgeois class. Just burgeoning class, just meaning upcoming class. I'm not talking about capitalism or anything like that. No, so no pun intended. There's a burgeoning class that desires some new options. So this is where I think that the creations of these MGTOW dudes, including myself, and possibly including yourself, are gonna come in. Because MGTOW guys are gonna be the ones to create new shit, I'm telling you. Like, especially these young guys who just came up in this stuff and they don't have a desire to continue the old stuff, but they also don't have a desire to like end their life or anything like that. We're gonna be the ones to create new shit, man. And there's many reasons for that, but because what else are we gonna do, right? That's basically the biggest reason. What else are we really gonna do? So let's see what happens. Keep learning, keep trying new things, keep creating new things. And word to Yoi Man, if a boomer calls you ungrateful, talk to Yoi Man before you blow up in their face. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Peace out. Stay up, stay healthy, stay ambitious, and stay creative. And stay tuned for that healthcare network. Alright, catch y'all later.